Hey everyone, how are you? Ricknineg here. Thank you for joining me in this lovely live stream. This is chat number 2. I'm so excited to have you join me. I have a little bit of a surprise for you, but we'll get there in a little bit. My goodness, it is raining so hard here. We rarely have rain in Southern California. Hey Zandy Taylor, how are you doing? Thank you for joining the live stream. We'll get started in just a little bit. I was telling everyone how much it is raining right now. It's been raining for like a week straight, and that is completely like out of the ordinary for us in Southern California. So pretty cool. I hope you all are doing okay. I've got a little bit of a surprise for everyone. Hey, crack me up now. How are you doing? Sophia Monteiro, how are you? Thank you for joining the live stream. That is awesome. So cool. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. You guys are starting to come in, so I think we should start. I have a little bit of a surprise for you. Last time, Insta please, Jackie Share _22. So Zandy has an awesome Instagram. Go check her out. I do have a little bit of a surprise for you guys, and that is that I will actually put some footage up for you of an episode. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever seen the I Love Lucy pilot episode? I'm talking about the pilot episode. This is not the first episode. This is one episode, and I'm super excited to show this to you. So if you give me 1 second, I'll kind of clue it up here, and we'll get it going. So give me 1 second here, and we'll just get it started. And I think we should be okay. Let us see. Yeah, there we go. The pilot episode, yeah. So I'll have that in the background so you guys can see it and enjoy it. And a little bit of information on that. It was found in 1990, as you see. And the first few seconds were damaged. Unfortunately, there's going to be no sound on this because of copyright stuff. So sorry about that. It is what it is. But I did put subtitles in there for you so you guys can actually see what is going on and read that. So yeah, let's talk about this. Like I said, questions in the chat. Think about this. Think about what people thought when they saw this, a new comedy series, you know? And I don't know. It's just interesting to note that how these screens were made before. You know, does anyone know how they were even made? Directed by Ralph Levy. I don't know if he did a lot of directing on I Love Lucy. I don't think so. Look how it starts out. It's so interesting. The fact that you actually take a look at where they live, New York City, and it's talking about Ricky and Lucy, and I don't know. It's just an interesting start, kind of out of the ordinary. We're out of the apartment. We're not in the apartment. So it's a very interesting thing to see for sure. Just move this up here. Hey, what is up? Sorry, I'm just trying to balance all this stuff here. Hey, I have so many screens open. There we go. And look at that. Isn't that great? Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Isn't that cool how they took away that shot? I think that had to be a difficult shot. They had to put like a little miniature in front, and then the camera threw that kind of away from the actual the set. And this is pretty cool. Ricky getting up. Apparently he's in a good mood all the time, I guess, for the pilot, you know. Hey, Alec J, what is up, buddy? Thank you for watching. I decided to put up some footage. This, if you guys don't know, is actually the pilot episode of I Love Lucy. Take a look at the pictures on the frame when Ricky opens it, how the set like vibrates, like how cheap it is. That's really funny. Remember, they were thinking, is this show going to work? Is this going to be popular? Is anyone going to watch it? Or are we going to have to shut it down after the pilot? You know, so I hope you guys do enjoy this. Like I said, oops, I slipped on my own chair. Unfortunately, no sound, but you have the subtitles there and what's going on. And Lucy is groggily getting up. And yeah, I think this is everyone's first look at Lucy. She was actually, I believe, 40 when I Love Lucy started. Everyone thinks she was in her 30s, but no, she was, which is not old by any means, but I think it's older than people thought she was. Alex, so you enjoyed the live chat last week? Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed talking to all of you and just learning about what you guys think about Lucy, so definitely. I do have an Instagram, Zandy, but it is not I Love Lucy or or gaming oriented at all. It's actually like my real life job, and I'm in sales and stuff. So I don't know. If you want to take a look, maybe later on I'll give you that Instagram account. And if you notice, this is an interesting episode because although it is the pilot, it doesn't count as an official episode. This is kind of a mixture of a few things. I don't know if you guys remember Pepito the Clown. Pepito the Clown was the one who did the lion sound with the lamp chimney and the little baby. Pepito makes an occurrence in this episode. And basically, they mix scenes from that and the one where Lucy has the cello and she's doing that scene as a professor. Oh! And so they got a mixture of all that, put it in the pilot, and then they said, let's make an actual episode from that. And it's called The Audition, and they made that, and they brought Pepito back for another episode. So that's kind of cool. Bruce, what is up, Bruce? You need to get it. I need to get a face cam finally. You think? Yeah, you should. I think it's good. Face cams are awesome. People can take a look at us, and we can do faces and stuff. Yes, this was the pilot. You are absolutely sure. You are absolutely right. And yeah, so of course, because tons of people didn't see it and it wasn't the official start of the show, they did kind of extract the best from this and actually make it into a few more episodes. So The Audition and Pepito was brought back. So yes, hey, what's up, Scott? Nice meme right there. My name's Jackie. I'm on my mom's account. Oh, okay. Hi, Jackie. How are you? I appreciate you watching. Very, very cool. I thought she was a lot younger. No. 40, if you do the math, she was born in 1911, and this was 1951. 40. Probably with a few months. She probably didn't. She was 39th birthday going on, but if you do the math, yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's really great, and of course, Ricky was a great physical comedian too. Like, I think people forget that. He was really, I think, believable in a lot of his scenes. Like right now, he's pretending where his ear went because he cut himself, and yeah, there was a lot of love between them, like when he played with their hair. I don't think it said Ricky walk behind her and play with her hair. You know, that's just like a lovey-dovey husband and wife type moment. And I think that went through. Those are all the gags they did on their travel. See, yeah, I definitely agree with you. You see that tension of husband and wife where it's like, but it's a loving tension. And I don't know, I think that played really through greatly on camera. Is she pregnant here? That's a good question. I believe, let me see. That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I can tell you by the next couple episodes on the diet, which is like second or third episode. Let me see. Yeah, so the diet was a few episodes after this. I don't know exactly when the pilot was made. I do have to go and see that. But she was like losing her baby fat, or her mama fat from the baby. So yes. Can you do the emoji challenge? I've never done that. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. Isn't that crazy? Yes. And if you notice, this is actually in another episode. I'm trying to think which one. I think it is. It's not the first one. It is, I believe, the audition episode, which aired in November. I just have a few notes here. And yes, so that one, they actually go to a bathroom scene. And here, of course, they didn't have all that money for that. And so they're kind of making do with what they have. Yeah, and if you notice how everything looks, even their beds don't look permanent. Do you notice that? Their beds look very, like, kind of like army cots. And look, so now that's the front of the apartment. Look at that. And Jerry Hausner, his agent, comes in. And he's saying this is the night of the audition. So kind of cool. Interesting how this set is different from the apartment. Kenneth Thomas. Yeah, good eye. I do like the fact of the buildings in the back, don't you guys? I do wish they could have incorporated that. You kind of do see it in the second apartment, the larger apartment they move into later, just a little bit through that little window. But here it's like they have glass windows all the way, which is really cool. Now, you guys knew that Jerry was in a good amount of episodes in season 1, and I believe he had a big fight with Desi, or there was just some argument where literally he just walked off the set. He said, "I'm not coming back. I quit," and he never came back again. I don't know if he quit or if he was fired or so forth. But yeah, he left after that, and Ricky got a few more agents. So I guess it happens. Doesn't let you guys like the live stream? Really? Oh, that's annoying. I'm sorry. I might have to configure that. I'm still kind of new in this live stream thing, so if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I have to go into the settings and tweak that out. So during the show, they changed the apartment. Cynthia says, how many times did they change the sets? That's a good question. I know they had, of course, this set. They also had the main apartment from basically season 1 all the way to mid-season 2, somewhere actually beginning of season 2. And look at Lucy. She has a lampshade and like a blanket. And then they go to the country episode. Those are the 3 main apartment living situations they have. This was done at 1040 North Las Palmas, rented space. Bruce, you're absolutely right. If you have not seen where I actually visited stage 2, this is stage 2, yes, on Las Palmas, go take a look after this live stream. You should. I go there, I go to the actual studio, I show you where it is, I show you the original entrance. It's awesome. It's awesome to be able to actually visit the place. So go ahead and take a look at that. That's to all of you in case you haven't. Just take a look at my playlist for I Love Lucy. It was fun to watch the subtle changes of the apartment. Well, it's also the changes of them making a little bit more money and progressing. Look at their kitchen scene, it's just so cramped and so weird. She's coming off of screen to get the food for him. I mean, it's so basic, but it's cool. Poor Jerry, I know. That was the first Desilu. Yes, the Desilu Playhouse along with the set right next door. I think it was 2A or 2B maybe. And that's where they did Our Miss Brooks, if you guys are familiar with that show. Any idea how much each cast member was making per episode at the height of the show? That's a good question, Derek. I could not even tell you. Very good question. I may have to do some research. I don't want to just spew out numbers, but that's a really good question. If anyone knows for sure, I would like to know that, but I always like to say things when I know them. So, Universal was Desilu, right? Not really. Desilu themselves bought. So they had the original Hollywood Center Studios. They had, oh geez, she's crying again. They had those 2 sets, and then they rented the space. Then they moved to Cahuenga, Desilu Cahuenga, they call it now. And then they had Gower as well, which is now part of Paramount, or basically Paramount. And so yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that they had. And then they had Desilu Culver, which is actually another one, or that was called 40 Acres, or it's called by a few names. So yeah. Oh, thanks. I love that you love my channel. It really means a lot. Definitely cool. This was the first of 3 Desilu studios. Yeah, they moved a bit. So it was Cahuenga, I believe, Gower, and Culver. Those are the 3 that were theirs. And then, of course, things change hands and stuff. You've never seen this part either, Jeanette? Thank you for joining the live stream, though. Yeah, this is the pilot. I'm going to be saying it a few times because, of course, people come in and out. But yeah, I try to be knowledgeable. I try to read, and I try to learn as much as I can. But you guys teach me all the time. Someone just asked me how much they made per episode. I do know that Lucy and Desi took a pay cut. I don't know if you guys knew that in the beginning because CBS didn't want to put them on. And so the idea was that they believed in the show, and they said, well, listen, we'll take a pay cut. We don't even care. We want the show to happen, but Desi said, you got to give me all the rights to all the footage and the show and everything. That's how they made their money. They made it through all the reruns and basically through all the advertising that Philip Morris and all these companies wanted to get to them. Your phone's at 10%. No, charge it. So Jeanette Perry says, I know a lot of people said Desi cheated on her a lot, but to me, unless they... What? I don't know what that means. So, cheat on her a lot. I don't know. I don't want to get into the cheating aspect, but he was a womanizer, we'll just say that. He liked to be with a lot of women, the type of Latino macho personality. Second, Desilu Cahuenga. Yes, you're correct. Cahuenga Desilu. They outgrew that. In 1954, they bought their own studio motion picture center on Cahuenga B. Yes, and then don't forget Desilu Culver, which was where they did all of the Hogan's Heroes stuff and Star Trek and all, even Batman, the 60s series. They filmed outdoor sets there. Also, Andy Griffith. Hey, S. Menning, 80, how are you? Thank you for joining. We're looking at the pilot. And look at the club. Doesn't the club look weird? That's actually right next door to where they were just at. Literally, like, right next door to the apartment, to the beds and everything. Very, very cool. How long after the pilot show was it picked up as a series? Good question. I'm not sure. I do know the first episode, Violet of Lucy, aired in October. So if we look at the schedule, it's a good question. Usually shows in the summer, late fall, come out with the pilot somewhere in there. And there's Pepito. And then they get picked up during the fall season. So usually September, October. So not that long. Again, Desi in his mental prowess did really well in that. S. Menning, yep, the payout was to fund the filming technique as well. Yes, you're absolutely right. His radical filming technique, that was, I mean, super popular. And he also developed with Carl Freund, Freund, something in that range. And yes, Pepito you do see in another episode, and he does the same similar act where he takes his clothes off, he goes into the big watch, and then he does the bicycle, a little tiny bicycle. He rides a little tiny bicycle. Oops, sorry. Unless they were there to see Desi with all these women, I don't think S. Menning. It looks so different. Just got on a lunch break. Oh, perfect. I'm glad that you were able to get on that lunch break. And of course, Pepito does the actual baby cry. He's pretty good at it. He's pretty good at the baby cry, I would say. I don't know what his link to I was gonna say the Ricardos to the Arnazes were. I don't know if he was just someone they saw and they put him on, but that's interesting. What YouTubers do I like? Roman Atwood, Paul Soares Jr. Oh, I love a lot of YouTubers. All YouTubers I think like other YouTubers. Alex J says, Rick, do you know much about the musicians that played in the band? Excuse me. I do know a little, not a lot. I'm going to have to do more research. I do know about Marco. He's the piano player. He's interesting because he almost knew no words of English, exclusively Spanish. I believe he was Cuban as well. There's actually a little documentary on him. I don't see him on here. I think he might make an appearance later on. But Marco, there's so many bloopers of him calling Ricky Desi because they were actually really good friends. They always worked together. And so it's like Desi, your best friend's name Paul, and you have to name him Philip for the show, and you just name him Paul. So he's Des and Desi. So it's kind of interesting, little fact there. Let's see. So that's Alec. Very, very cool. Derek, do you know if the original sets were kept on display anywhere? That's a good question. From what I've seen, there's no trail that leads to any of the sets. Unfortunately, I'm not saying this happened, but it looks like that's the high probability is that a lot of them were torn down. And the reason is because sets are made in a limited... They're made not to last. They're very impermanent. They're not permanent. And so, especially when a show gets popular, that wasn't something that was on their mind, that the show would be so popular. And so they kind of move on. They have recreated the sets, I can tell you that, in Jamestown in the Lucy and Desi Museum. So that's something that you should know. I do have plans on going there eventually, of course, and seeing all that. They have the Hollywood set from the motel. They do have a lot of cool stuff. So... Oh, wow. So Marco was Desi's best friend. I didn't know they were best friends. That's a really good fact there. But I do know they were close. But yeah, the sets are there. You have the original apartment, or the second apartment, the one with the window and the extra bedroom for little Ricky. That's on display as well. But I don't think it's the actual one. They're recreated sets. Oh, and Pepito falls and gets hurt. Not a great fall for Pepito. But then remember, they actually do this with another actor in the audition, Buffo the Clown. Yeah, so Pepito is in another episode. I can't think offhand. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. Just think. If you guys know, let me know. You guys are great with this stuff. So, oh, he was on the road with them? Okay, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know that. Obviously, Desi and Lucy were very big into having people that they know be in their show, that they trusted, their inner circle. So that's very, very true. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Andrew? How are you doing? Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big fan of I Love Lucy, I'm sure, just like I am. Do you notice there's only 3 guys on set? I mean, in the band, I guess they could only afford 3. And I'm not, I mean, it's, again, I'm not laughing at it. I'm just saying it's so weird. You do see a guy in the back playing the drums, and I think there might be a guy off on the side, but that's his band, the extent of his band. And later he gets his huge band. Lucy comes home. Yeah, I don't think she's pregnant. She might have had Lucy Jr. I call her Lucy Jr. Not to confuse her with Lucille Ball, of course. And Pepito, of course, is getting beat up by Lucy. Can you tour the studio where it was filmed? Fortunately, you cannot. You cannot go in the studio. It's a private studio. Security's really big on that. You kind of have to know people or get involved. So I'm working on that. We'll see if we can get in there. You can go to the outside the studio. Take a look at my video, Menning, if you haven't. Or actually go and visit stage 2 from the outside exterior. And if I have the address and so forth, so if you do want to visit, you know, you can at least see it that way. Hey, what's up, Tibbs G? Thank you for joining the live stream. Awesome that you're here. We are watching the pilot episode over here, right there, up there. And I hope you're enjoying that. And of course, this is basically a basis for the audition episode. Where is Jamestown? Good question. Jamestown, New York. It is not New York City, but it is, I think, if I remember the map, it's kind of on the west middle side, somewhere in there. It's Jamestown, New York. That was Lucy's hometown. So actually, Lucille Ball was actually buried. I didn't know this. Up until 2002, I believe, or 3, she was buried in Los Angeles, California, basically. And then her children decided to move the body, exhume her, and have her buried in Jamestown, her hometown. So kind of interesting. I'm so sad that I didn't go when she was in LA, and I have to take a trip to New York to see her. The audition was in the actual I Love Lucy. The audition was in the actual I Love Lucy. Yeah, different from the pilot. Yes, there were differences. So this is the pilot. The audition is similar but different in the sense of Pepito wasn't in the episode. The apartment sets were different, but this is the basis. This is the foundation where, again, pilots, you guys know, are made basically to show execs the popularity of the show and to get ratings and see how good the show would do. And they really hated the fact of just, kind of having people not see this. And so they made an episode out of it. That's her pregnant coat? Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think they wanted to hide the fact that, since she, the pregnancy, they wanted to hide the fact that there was a little bump there. And so she was definitely wearing different clothes. Upstate New York. There we go. I wasn't sure if it was upstate New York, but you guys are really, really good. Wasn't she born in West Jamestown? Good question. From what I know, it's just Jamestown. Could be wrong on that, but I think if you look it up, the Lucy Desi Museum, Jamestown popped up in itself. I think West Jamestown was what they said in the episode. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know Jamestown. All right. Gower, yes. And West Washington Boulevard in Culver City. Yes, that would be the Culver Studios. Exactly. Yes, according to the show, she was born in West Jamestown, but again, I might even have to look that up right now just to confirm, because we don't want to mislead anyone. So I definitely like to stick with facts and stick with this information. So if you guys give me 1 second, I can definitely take a look and find out for you guys where she was actually born. Now look at the club. What do you guys think about the club? Very simple. Again, you see a few more band members there, but you see a lot of guests. You see a lot of guests there. Okay, where was Lucille Ball born? According to this, it is, showing you a little bit, Pinto is the name of the horse. So Ricky does a few songs here, which you might know, The Horse and Carriage. We're gonna ride, we're gonna ride. I can't sing, but I'm a Cuban cabbie. That's the name of the song. And I need dinero. That one. So, according to this, she was born in Lucy Esmeralda McGillicuddy. And, that is not correct. That is not correct. McGillicuddy was her show name. So, see, that's why you guys got to check all this stuff. I always try to check this. Yeah, she was born in Jamestown, New York, according to this. And she died in Los Angeles, yes. Cause of death, aortic rupture, I believe, after a heart operation that she had. Okay. I think the West Jamestown thing that was on the show was more of they wanted to do that with the passports, and so they wanted to make that technicality. West Jamestown, like West Virginia, play on that. Too bad they don't have clubs like this anymore. That's true. This was such, like, if you go to a club now, it's like, and, this is more, like, elegant, and you dress up. And I think those would be more, like, private clubs, I guess. Like, I think they might have some in Miami. In 1957, he bought RKO Pictures for $6 million. Isn't that crazy? $6 million? I mean, not that I have $6 million, but that is really, really crazy. Miss Makilakuri. What I did love was when Ricky sang songs, and I use Ricky or Desi sang songs, but I know some people don't like it. They think he's like showing off his singing skills, but I think there's a logic to it. And the thing is, if you notice these shows, 1950s and pre or before 40s and 30s, even things like the Marx Brothers and so forth, it's very common to see singing and dancing in these movies, in these shows, and that was always seen as higher production value. So you're getting all of this together. You're getting jokes, you're getting dry comedy, but you're also getting singing and dancing all in one movie. It's something that's kind of foreign today. We don't really understand that. And so I think that's what I Love Lucy tried to do. Every once in a while you get a few dance numbers, singing numbers, and that was part of the raising the bar and the quality. That's kind of interesting. Is it true a lot of the guests are members of the production team? So a lot of the names, any name that you hear, pretty much, were guests. Mr. Willowy. Do you guys remember Mr. Willowy from the Marriage License episode? The guy, the Justice of the Peace. All right, believe it or not, there is a street a few blocks down from their first studio named Willowy. Here's an interesting fact now. Since it was so close, they regularly used unique names that were available to them. I'm not surprised if Mr. Willowy was named after that street. Also, Argyle, Lucy names Argyle is like one of her boyfriends. Argyle Nelson is on the production team. So all these names of these people are like that. Ralph Berger, he was also, and he was a saxophone player. That was a name given to him. Ralph Berger was also on the production team. So yeah, very, very interesting. It was so sad. Flood the hospital with a fax. Oh, you actually sent Lucille Ball a fax when she was, very sick. And wow, that's very, very interesting. I was only 2 when she passed away, so I wasn't around. Unfortunately, my goal is to hopefully, and if I'm lucky enough, meet Lucy Jr. and Desi Jr. And that would be amazing. That would be amazing to be able to meet these two. And, the kids of these two great legends. I mean, that would be so, so cool. Now, this is one of my favorite scenes or acts that you want to call, where Lucy is the professor, they call her. And it was just so interesting to see the fact of them playing together, of them playing off of one another, making fun of each other. And, I don't know. I think it's literally one of the greatest acts that they've done together. Don't forget the Desilu Ranch in Chatsworth. Oh, interesting. The ranch is gone, but cool to drive by the area. Yes, there are a lot of areas as we've talked about, and yes, it's a bittersweet that a lot of these sets and things are not there anymore. And it's unfortunate, but again, it is a cool thing to note that LA was the hotspot for all these places. Oh, really? Your folks, Bruce, used to see them on the beach in Del Mar in the 50s? That's so cool. I know Desi loved Del Mar. After his divorce with Lucy, he settled in Del Mar, California. And I think one of the Lucy... Look, these are genuine laughs right here. Genuine laughs. You see she's laughing as well, and they're trying to get back on the script, making fun of his English, and he's trying to keep it together. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That is just great. I love that. Yes, Desi loved Del Mar. In one of the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour episodes, they start in Del Mar, California, and he settled there with his new wife. Yes, so Ralph Berger, Alec J, was the guy. If you go back to the second season, Ralph Berger is the guy, one musician who auditions for Ricky for one of his shows, and he's playing the saxophone. He's like, "You got it, Ralph. You got the job." Later on in season 5, you see when they buy the car, and he mentions Ralph Berger. So that's the guy in the saxophone, according to the script, of course. But that's kind of cool. Yeah, I heard they were very normal, but you have to understand that they both came from very humble beginnings. So that makes so much sense. Ricky was cleaning out bird cages in the United States. Lucy as well. They weren't coming down from a line of rich people. And so I don't think fame really got to their head, which I think was good. And they didn't want it to go to their head, especially with their children. Yeah, so very interesting. I love this scene where she takes off the gloves and then does that. And you see there's a lot of laughing here. I don't know. I think they're just kind of ecstatic to have their own show and to do this. And I think there's not a lot of discipline. Also, you do not see Vivian Vance or William Frawley in here. Why? Because they were not cast yet. And so again, this was focusing think about this, just on Desi and Lucy. Were they cool enough? Were they awesome enough? If they were, they had to do it on their own, which they were able to get the ratings that they wanted, and they were to convince all the execs. Then they were able to hire their supporting cast. So it's interesting to note that really William and Viv were not instrumental to their start. They did it on their own, and then of course, after the team was brought up, they obviously helped to the popularity, but they weren't there in the beginning. So really, really cool to notice that. So Oscar Man 42, he saw Lucy speak when he attended UCLA. Whoa. First thing she said when she saw the crowd was, "I was your babysitter." Oh my God, that is awesome. She was. Oh my goodness. My mom would say that she would be cooking and I would be watching I Love Lucy with my mouth open like at 2 or 3. Like ever since I was a little kid, I would always watch it. And of course, that is awesome when you get the cello, what do you call it? Cello stick. I'm sorry, I'm not musically inclined. Hit Ricky in the butt or nearly miss him. He was in Cuba. Very important. Yes, Cuba. Yeah, that is funny. And then the seal part. Did the seal part pass? I wasn't really paying attention if the seal part happened as well. I think that's in the audition for sure. That is so I'll keep talking about the audition episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 6th episode on I Love Lucy. So kind of interesting to note that. Oh, the saxophivotravophonovich. I think that's the instrument that Ricky says he wants her to try out. You ever seen Desi's home coming down Ice South? It's very nice. Bruce, I might have been. I have been to Lucille Ball's original home. I don't know if that's... Oh, no, so you're talking about the Del Mar home, I'm guessing. I have not seen that one. But very, very cool. And there it is. Saxophivotravophonovich. It's a Saxophivotravophonovich. Saxophivotravophonovich. Back here, Professor. I love where he calls her Professor because, it's a play on Professor being, an expert. And she obviously is not an expert in what she's doing in this little skit that they're doing. So it's kind of funny. They want to have more Spanish and ethnic groups despite the times. The bow on the cello. Thank you, Cynthia. Wow, I feel like such a... the bow. Wow, I was searching for that word. Did they want to have more Spanish and ethnic groups? I don't know. That's a good question. They did have African American actors here and there in some positions. So did the Three Stooges, which was, again, revolutionary at that time. If you remember The Great Train Robber, you do have the porter, an African American man. I always see that as amazing because, again, these people were ahead of their times. Lucy and Desi, super ahead of their time, giving opportunities to others who may not have previously. And I really look up to them. The Three Stooges in the 30s, before the Civil Rights Movement, before any of that, 30 years before that, putting African Americans, again, so many people, they didn't go the blackface route. It's just, or the whiteface and so forth. It's just super interesting. And I think part of why people love these, they were so progressive at their time while still maintaining that just being elegant and proper. Oh, and Lucy in her professor outfit with the little apron and smock. She's so cute. I think she was so cute. Like, she was just so interesting, and her versatility and what she did was just really, really cool. So what do you guys think of the pilot? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. I enjoy it because it's just something that shows, you know, so much history, and it's so interesting to see the evolution. So I'm actually going to show you after this finishes. It's going to finish in just a little bit. I'm going to put the first official episode of I Love Lucy. Do you guys know what that is? Let me know in the comments. I don't want to spoil it. Let me know in the comments. I have it right here. I will put it to you. What is the first episode of I Love Lucy? What is it called? What's going on? Let me know. Let me know if you guys know. Yes, Charles, you're absolutely right. She did play in a Three Stooges short. It is called Three Little Pigskins. And if you are interested in that, I will be making a video on that very soon. It's a little surprise for you guys in live chat. No one else knows. And it is coming out in the next couple days, so keep your eyes on that. Did you know Joan Crawford was slated to appear on I Love Lucy, but Desley supposed she was drunk? She went to Tallulah. I have heard that, Bruce. Yes, absolutely. And although Tallulah was a bit of a drinker herself, she was kind of wild and crazy. She did not want to come to rehearsals and do all that stuff. So, yes, kind of a crazy thing. I'm just going to set this to the next episode. You guys didn't tell me what's the first episode of I Love Lucy. What is it called? All right, so I want to see if you guys put it before that. Oh my gosh, the first thing he recorded on his Betamax was I Love Lucy. The first film was Lucy Thinks Ricky's Trying to Murder Her? No, nope, close, but no. Let us see. Anyone know what the first episode was? Without looking it up. I have it already queued up here too. Lucy was trying to kill her? Nope. Good guess. It's actually the 5th episode. Excuse me, the 4th. Yes, there you go. Cynthia, Andrew, you got it. The girls want to go to a nightclub. Actually, people don't know that. I didn't know that till a few years ago, actually. And the reason is because I was doing a little bit of research on that, and I also thought that Lucy Thinks Ricky's Trying to Murder Her was the first episode, but it wasn't. And I blame syndication. I blame syndication for not putting up certain episodes because they're pushing away from a lot of the talkies and going more to the ones where she did physical stuff because it's more visual, and they cut out all these scenes. So it is what it is, but this is the first scene of I Love Lucy. Lucy in the kitchen with Vivian Vance cleaning up a meal that they just had, the four of them. And so that's really, really interesting to see that. And of course, you know, like life, the women are in one room, the men are in the other room, or in one corner of the room and doing their different chats here and there. Really interesting and fun to see that. It is the one, of course, where Ethel and Fred have their anniversary. And of course, Ethel wants to go. Oh, the rain's raining so hard. Ethel wants to go to the nightclub, and Fred wants to go to the fights. Of course, how romantic to go to the fights on your anniversary, right? Yes, it was the first one shown, so it's number one in terms of the way it was presented on TV. It was shown. It showed it up there. October 15th, 1951. Just barely made it before 1952. So I Love Lucy was primarily... they did manage to squeeze in a lot of episodes, I can give you that, before the year finished. So that's really, really interesting. The Copacabana. And of course, which is funny because Ethel wants to go to a nightclub and Ricky works at one. But it's kind of interesting. I guess it's a girl thing, right? I don't know. They like to go. But again, there are not a lot of clubs now like that. So I think she wanted a glamorous night, maybe see some singing and dancing and things like that. But yeah, it's really cool to see. Of course, the boys. What I loved is how William, I don't think Fred did it. I think William Frawley or maybe that was part of his character. putting his pants all the way up to like his neck. Almost choking himself. I love this. He's like, I want you to commemorate an 18-year-old tragedy. Oh my gosh. Fred was hilarious. I love Fred. There was just such a grumpy lovingness about him. Like, he was grumpy, but everyone loved him. He was just so great and so fantastic. Let me just see here. So Oscar Man 42 says, someone may already ask this. If not, what's your favorite episode? Mine is Ethel's hometown. The operator is also up there. Ooh, you know what I really like? Home movies. I love the home movies episode. It is the episode, or one of the episodes, with no live studio audience. Laugh track was added because a lot of the effects that were made. I love the feeling of that episode where they're filming something. It's like Inception, putting it in that. I love it. Lucy puts on the mustache, does a cowboy. I love that. I love Bonus Bucks, though. The one where I absolutely love that episode. I have a lot of favorites, like 10 favorites, but those are two that stick out to me, for sure. It's funny how Ethel just assumed that Ricky would love going to clubbing because he worked at one. Yes, and that is true. And, now the girls are trying to seduce the guys, and the guys are trying to, be really funny to mess with the girls. William did not practice. He showed up and did his lines. Yes. Although that doesn't mean we don't know how much he studied for them. Maybe he did. But I know Desi, once he read through the script, he knew it. He was a really, really quick study, that is for sure. Ethel's birthday is fun, where Lucy buys the pants, right? Those crazy, weird-looking pants. Yeah. Vitamin Avengement, yes, that's a great episode, too. I think it's hilarious. What are your guys' favorite episodes? Put them down below in the chat. I would love to see. Love to see what you guys want. Oh, I thought that said Ethel is on Sant. It says Lucy. Yes, the home movies one, I think, is awesome. I love them all. But home movies, to me, like, if it's raining outside, it's night, I want to fall asleep to an episode that is really just comfy and makes me feel good, home movies. That's me. And stop saying, madam, you have the wrong number. Yes, the Richard Widmark episode. So, Bruce Merrill, I'm trying to think here. The one where I'm referring to, home movies, is when basically Ricky buys a screen and a projector and a film camera, and he's filming everything, and he puts it on the screen, and the Mertzes are bored at seeing the same movies over and over. And then Lucy makes her own film, like a cowboy type scene, and then plays it for a producer, and it's like horrible. It plays backwards and forwards and upside down, and Ricky's like, oh my goodness, and finally, like, he likes it. That's the episode. In case you guys don't remember, because there's a lot of episodes, and syndication doesn't show a lot of them. Hostess pants from Harper's Bazaar. Yes, I don't even know what hostess pants even mean, guys and gals. Charles, so when they were rehearsing taking Lucy to the hospital, oh yes, that was awesome and hilarious, right? When I think Fred was awesome because he was freaking out, and Lucy and Ethel was so calm, and then Ricky really went crazy. I think that is great. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and my legs ain't boned, and my knees. I don't know the exact words. I'm a learning fool. Da, 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 under every day in the road. Okay, I'll stop. I don't want you guys to leave. Hey, Kelly, what is up? Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. And there we go, Bruce. The light bulb lit up on your head, right? You know exactly. I know you guys know what episode it is. You guys are more knowledgeable than myself. You guys teach me all the time, so I love it. Call a cab. You call the cab. Get a cab. Yes. Oh, yeah. So, I'm funny. I'm not funny at all. I'm not funny. Funny one's Lucy. Oh, Dancing with a Star, the one where Lucy dances with Van Johnson, that's a good episode. That's a good episode for sure. I like that one. LA at Last. I love the LA episodes. I feel like they're traveling. Well, they did travel somewhere. But it's like you're on vacation. I feel like I'm on vacation when I'm watching them. Doesn't make sense. But yeah. You cry at the end. So Cynthia says, also at this birthday, I cried at the end, and that guy in the theater, it was a blast. Mr. Livermore. Did you know Mr. Livermore, the actor, was in another episode too? He was in Lucy Buys New Furniture. Or no, she wins the new furniture. He's the second-hand man, Mr. Jenkins. Yippee-o-ki-yay, yow! And Fred goes, reach for the ceiling, both of you. Drop them guns. You know what? I remember that one where she babysat the twins. I don't like that episode, and I'll be honest why. I don't like those snobby kids. Like, they leave a bad taste in my mouth. I know they're acting. Maybe they're just great actors. I don't know. But it's like Jimmy and Timmy. Those kids are so annoying. Like, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't like it. It's a great episode, but I didn't like the kids. I like the other kids that were used. I like Carolyn Appleby's son. That actor, he's pretty good. Little Stevie. Well, the actor who played Little Stevie. Love the LA episodes. Oh, the LA episodes are the best. I love those. The Hedda Hopper story, fashion show. Absolutely awesome. Awesome. Little Boy Blue and Peter Cottondale. Those will be their dates for the Copacabana. Alec J. Yeah, you don't like those kids too. Annoying. They were gonna set her on fire. I know. They those kids. I didn't like the mom either. The mom was so annoying. I didn't like her acting as well. Honestly, I don't think she was that great. At least in this. I don't know if she's a popular actress somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, this episode. I have it on my screen over here. You guys can see it right on top there. But if you notice why this is probably not shown as much, although there is a lot of physical stuff at the end. I don't want to ruin it in case you haven't seen it. I think probably all of you have seen it though. Or Lucy and Ethel dress up as those horrible looking women who want to make out with the guys, and in fact it's them and they're pretending there's someone else. Yeah, they were definitely snobby, Charles, the kids and the mom. And so, I don't know, I didn't like the characters. There's very few times I don't like characters on I Love Lucy. Like, even Carolyn Appleby was like Lucy's arch nemesis, but I love Carolyn Appleby. She was amazing. Doris Singleton, I think she was so gorgeous too. So Cynthia says, in Ethel's birthday, the theater patron who broke Fred's binoculars. Oh, I remember that. Yes. Where he takes the binoculars and goes down and goes and cracks them and then gives it. I think that is an amazing scene. And then he cries at the end. Absolutely. Now I know what you're talking about. I was like, who cries at the end? Yes, you're right. It's funny because the episodes go to they flow so well and they change so much. So usually when I see the beginning, I try to remember what's at the end, and it's hard sometimes because they go through all these things. Like the beginning of the episode, they're washing dishes of this one. The ending, they end up like kissing because they're wearing all those weird outfits, the girls, the costumes. Oh, I love the Europe episodes, Andrew. There's 3 in Paris. I love those. There's 2 or 3, I think 2 in Italy. I love that. I'm trying to think what's like my favorite. Charles Boyer one was pretty good. The England one I like. There's 2 in England. I think there's the Fox Hunt and then the one where Lucy meets the Queen. Yeah, I do love a lot of the Europe ones. I wish they would have gone to other countries too, but I guess they went to the nice ones, the most popular ones, I guess. Yeah, do you notice that? And that was on purpose. Ethel wearing the same dresses. They definitely wanted to highlight the fact that Fred is like semi-retired type of a landlord. Like, he wasn't poor by any means, but he was very stingy, and Ricky wasn't the most spendthrift person, but for Lucy, like, he would spend. And so you see them going up financially, and then the Merces kind of stay stable. They go up a bit. But if you notice, one of the things about the Merces, they really, really take advantage of the Ricardos a lot. I think they are genuine friends, but they take, like, Ricky pays for a lot of their stuff. I don't know why, but yeah. So Crack Me Up Now says, oh, what about when Ethel and Lucy are disguised and Ethel's an Eskimo? I like that. That's funny. Alex J says, educate me on this, Rick. I want to say that the lady that played the mother of the twins, she's a guest in the nightclub scenes. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Again, a lot of those actors are recycled, especially if they're not used anymore. For example, like Frank Nelson was used once in the quiz show. I think that was the first one, yes. And then after that, like if it works, they use them again, and they use it more and more and more, and that's kind of how it works. If it doesn't work, if it just for some reason something doesn't pan out, then of course they might use them for the audience or like some extras and so forth. Yes, the fox hunt one is amazing. Love it for sure. When she dances for the queen, did she really dance though? Kind of. She does more like a ballet type thing with the horse, and she messes up her leg, right? You don't like the fox hunt one, Dave? I wouldn't say it's my favorite at all. I do like the fact that she was on the horse, and then she comes in backwards. I do like that. And then she comes in the shrub, and then there's like the fox behind. I do like that. Like there's some cool things. Let's see. So Crack Me Up Now says, my favorite line, help. No. He will who it is. He will who it is? I don't know. Mike, give me more information, and I could probably figure it out. Because I'm a little slow when it comes to episodes. I need a lot of information so it can click. It can click in my brain. Alex J, I love the train horse number in Lucy Meets the Queen. It's my favorite dance number. It's a pretty good number. I'm trying to think about it. Lucy did so many crazy dance numbers. She was great. Sometimes she danced well, sometimes she didn't. Excuse me. Bruce Merrill says, did you know Desi found Vivian Vance here in San Diego? So I'm guessing, Bruce, you're in San Diego? They're just in La Jolla Playhouse in a play called Voice of the Turtle. I did not know that. I just learned something new. That is awesome. La Jolla Playhouse. I've been to San Diego and to La Jolla, of course, but I didn't know that. That is interesting. I might have to take a little trip down there to take a look. That's definitely cool. Cynthia says, I love the Italy episode where Lucy was homesick. I don't like that one, and I'll tell you why. Again, not a bad episode. I understand you, but let me tell you why. Lucy cries so much in that episode. I just feel so bad. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, senora. And then the kids take advantage of her. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, it just makes me feel horrible. And then finally they talk to little Ricky on the phone, which kind of is cool, but like, it doesn't make my heart feel warm, And I think I watch I Love Lucy because it gives you that heart-warming sensation. And if an episode doesn't do that, it's not my favorite, if that makes sense. Doesn't mean the episode's good or not. That's just how my brain works with Lucy. That's why I also don't like Lucy's last birthday, because it's like she's crying because she thought everyone forgot her birthday. Of course everyone didn't. But again, it's that feeling of her crying, and I know it's fake, right? I know it's a show. But the idea is, I kind of play into the reality of it. Oh, and look at Fred's face. Fred is hilarious. And of course, look at Ethel with the one closed eye in the back. It's so creepy. This was creepy to me. Ethel was creepy. Like, I was kind of scared of this episode. Like, I knew it was Ethel, but it was just, I don't know, when you're a little kid, people creep you out sometimes. And yeah, she creeped me out right there. So S. Menning, yes, you're right. She didn't really dance. She actually knew how to dance very well, Lucy, but she always played that she didn't. And you would go back and forth sometimes where she would do that and sing, dance well and not dance so well. Crack Me Up. Help. You don't know who it is? When they're biking across part of Europe. Oh, yes. Wait, that's in the Italy one, right? Where she forgets all of her stuff in the... She forgets her passport. She forgets her passport in the trunk, and it's actually like in the other bag right there. Oh, yeah, I'm sure now that it's so popular, they remade it. Oh, and it's so creepy. Yes, it looks so creepy here. What are your thoughts of the scary Lucy statue and the subsequent replacement? I do think the original is scary. I have not seen the replacement, so I don't know if it's better. I can't tell you that. I'm going to have to go Google it and take a look. I might have to take a look at that. Oh, I love the little boy in that one. Oh, he actually turns out to be a pretty popular actor. I have to look him up. That boy. Jeez, I don't know offhand. But yeah, that's something interesting. Let me look it up. Jamestown Lucy statue. And we'll see how that thing looks. Lucy's last birthday. The Friends of the Friendless. We are friends of the friendless. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Friends of the friendless. Yes, we are. Da, da, da. If you look at my funniest Fred moments, I put this at number 1. I think this is one of the funniest Fred moments in season 1. where he's like, ay, 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 with Ricky, and they're just so freaked out with these women that they think are absolutely ugly. It is amazing. But I love when Lucy sings her... Yes, that's the best part of that episode, I think, where Ricky, for the first and only time, sings the lyrics of I Love Lucy. I think that's great. I think that's beautiful. That's my favorite part of the episode, actually. The Queen episode? Okay. Yes, in the Queen episode, she messes up, but there's one, the Cuban Pete, where she dances really well. Also with Van Johnson. Oh my god, that's one of the most beautiful dance numbers. If you haven't seen my, I think it's Best Lucy Dances, you should take a look at that. These are ones where she dances, comedic or not comedic, and that one's really good. The one where she was trying to tell Ricky she was pregnant. Ricky messes up the Rockabye Baby. Yes, because he got so emotional, Charles. You're so absolutely right. That was a very, very authentic moment. I think I'll play another episode for you guys. What do you think? And then I'll sign off after that one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this Lucy statue. Now, I'll show it to you guys. Oh my goodness. So, it's kind of small, but that is the original I Love Lucy statue. Oof. But the new one, I don't know if this is the new one, but I think she looks amazing in this one, or the statue looks amazing. So yeah, I do like this one, if this is the real one. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. You guys know that, so I'm just reading here. Yeah, the replacement statue, Andrew, if this is correct, and this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm looking at, and that's correct, then yes, this is it. Although it doesn't look too clear on this. But yes, if you guys just Google it, it is, it looks very nice. Oh, here it is. No! Where'd you go? Okay, so yeah, it's not perfect. It's a, sorry. Trying to get that. Yeah, it's a little better. I think that's good. That's very doable. That's very, I think, respectable to Lucy and who she was and what she looks like. So yes, definitely. Oh, and where they show their long underwear, their long johns, all the way they're past their knees. And of course now they're singing Guadalajara, Guadalajara. It's so funny. I love this. What episode was Nancy Culp in? Was it the candy conveyor? No, that's a good question. That's not Nancy Culp. So there's two questions. No, so let's go the Nancy Culp one. She was in the Lucy Meets the Queen episode. She played the maid. I do have a cameos episode on that, so go take a look. Also, Natalie Schaefer was from Gilligan's Island, Mrs. Howell, and she was in the Lucy Goes to Charm School, where she owns the charm school, Natalie Schaefer. The ballet teacher was someone else. She was actually like one of the sisters, I think, in... Oh my goodness. She played a nun with the Whoopi Goldberg Sister Act, I think. She played a really old... And she did a lot of other shows as well. I can't think of them at the top of my head. You guys will probably know. So if you do, let me know in the chat there. Let's see. So what do you guys... Yeah, she played the maid. Absolutely. Let me know what the next episode is of I Love Lucy. This is almost ending. So, of course, in terms of airing, when they aired, The Girls Want to Go to the Nightclub, that is the first episode and the second episode. What is it? I actually really like the one that comes after. This one's pretty good. But I like the second one a little better, for sure. Mary Wicks. You got it, Andrew. Very, very correct. Now, she seems like a witch character. Like, she could play a witch somewhere. I'm trying to figure out where I saw her. But, yeah, she played a couple things. She was a nun in Where Angels Go, Trouble Falls. Oh, is that where she was from? Okay, because... yeah, I think that's a photo that I saw. I might have confused it with Sister Act, but... Although I do think she was like an old lady in Sister Act. But that's not confirmed. That's what I think. But I do know she was a nun because I saw a picture of her as a nun. I was like, whoa, she was probably like really up there in age. So she was a close friend of Lucy. Yeah, I'm not surprised. A lot of these actors that were in there, like I said, Lucy believed, and there's a word for it, I don't know, were basically use your popularity and fame to help others that you love and that you really care about. And she did that. She tried to help these people out, raise them up. And Tibbs got it. Tibbs G was the first one. Be a pal. You're absolutely right. And that is what we're going to look at in just a second. She was also in 16 Candles. Very good catching her there. Very awesome. What was the last of I Love Lucy before I went to the Lucy Desi show? Good question. It is Lucy dedicates a statue. It is the one where they're in the country. Lucy plays the kind of Revolutionary War statue because it breaks, and so she plays it, and they find out what it is. So kind of interesting. Let me shut this down. Hold on here. Oh, there we go. That's where they go to the fights. And, of course, they say, we're going to take you where you want to go on your anniversary, the fights. Of course, the guys win on this one. First episode, kind of interesting, which is weird to me. I would think that they want the first episode Lucy to get what she wants, but no, didn't happen. Very surprised about that. Very, very surprised. Let me go to the Be a Pal episode. That is the one where Lucy sings Mama Yo Te Quiero by Carmen Miranda. There we go. Be a Pal, October 22nd, 1951. All right. Hello, Crack Me Up. How are you doing? Oh, she was in Sister Act as well. You guys checked? Thank you. I knew I saw her. I didn't want to confirm it because I wasn't sure, but yes, I definitely know that she was. I think she was one with the ruler or something. But yes, so Be a Pal, episode 2 of I Love Lucy. Basically, Ricky is not really paying much attention to her. She thinks they're in a rut in their marriage, and she decides to do things that he likes to do. They all kind of mess up, don't work out, and it's a good episode. I do love the casino scene, or where they play poker. The best scene in this episode, in my opinion. She was a choir director before Whoopi. There you go. I'm really good, guys and gals. It's one of my... If I don't have many talents. One of my talents, it's weird, is to facially recognize people really well. I did not know, but like my brain says she was in Sister Act somehow. So that's how I know a lot of these cameos, because I can actually see them and recognize their face and then know they were in something else. I'll do a little research and be like, oh, wow, this is true. And so it's funny. My eyes catch things like that. Kind of a little fact about me. Every time I have to cruise the old California Highway 101, I always think of the old 55 Pontiac. Isn't that cool when they make their way past the, it's basically the LA City Hall? That is so, so cool. Hey, Kelly, what is up? Why? I don't know why. Yeah, she played a nun a lot. She kind of looks like a nun. Like, yes, that's why I saw her, and I was like, this woman looks young, but I recognize her. I don't know where. Yeah, that poor old highway, Bruce, is definitely so congested right now, but it is super popular because it's the one that leads you into Los Angeles. Don't you love how Lucy just walks in and Ricky doesn't even notice that it's her until the end? And of course she's in curlers and looks drabby, and that's part of the episode that, that's why he doesn't really pay attention to her, because, she doesn't look that great. Gotta go back to work from lunch. Well, thank you, S. Manning, for joining. Don't forget to later on give this video a big thumbs up if you can, and subscribe if you haven't. I'm glad you enjoy it. We're gonna do more every so often, and hopefully you guys do enjoy it and come back for more. The toast, little piece of toast. She always would burn in the toast, and you get a little piece like this. Did you notice there's no glass in any of the windows? Yes, they did that because of reflective issues. They don't want any type of mirror or reflection to show off any of the cameras. That's a very popular thing to do in many TV shows and movies. Now they use special plastics and glass that don't reflect in certain ways, and they have angles and stuff. But if you notice, all the mirrors are tilted down and so forth, and so it's kind of a cool fact there, in case you guys didn't know about that. I do always look at movie and TV trivia, so that is something really, really good to notice. Of course, Ethel looks a little drabby here in this episode as well, and I guess that lends to that they're getting in a rut. And now Ethel will say, don't worry, Lucy, I know what you can do. Let's look at this book by Dr. Humphreys. I think that's what his name was. Yeah, they would always do that toast thing. I don't know how they did that, because I don't think that's an easy thing to do. And remember, this is live, and I've never seen them drop it. And so I don't know if they practice like crazy, or because it looks real. It doesn't look like it's on a string or anything. So I'm guessing, I think they just practice the heck out of that scene, maybe at home, like in real life, just to get it right. until they were just so second nature to it. My opinion, I don't know. They do that with cars too, no windows. You're absolutely right. Their Pontiac never had a windshield on it, which is weird because it's so curved that because the way, you know, our brain knows how light reflects, something looks wrong, and you can clearly see that there's no window in there. And sometimes you even see them putting their hands through it accidentally, and you know, it wasn't really live. Well, actually, no, it was filmed in front of a live studio audience. And what happened is they rarely cut. They would every once in a while. I did go to see I Love Lucy live, and that's pretty faithful to what they did for the show. It's really interesting. People think that it was like, because today TV shows, they cut a lot. And then the audience reactions have to really be done over and over again to get the exact scene that they want. This was very theater oriented, and that was part of their purpose. Okay, so when I mean live, it didn't mean that it was broadcast live. I mean that when it was filmed, it was in front of an audience. The audience was watching it live. It was going on a film, and then later it would be broadcast. Yeah, so maybe I wasn't clear about that. But what I mean is a lot of shows now, they're filmed, right? They're filmed, there's no audience, or there would be an audience, and then they would cut. They would be like, okay, that scene was crappy, so let's cut. Let's do it again. No, that was crappy again. Let's do it again. And there would be, the audience would see all these different takes, and so the story would be spoiled. Not in this case. This was filmed live, meaning live in front of the audience. The audience would see what was happening. They would go to the end of the episode and so forth. So sorry if I didn't clarify that. What's I Love Lucy Live? Good question. You can actually look it up. I don't think it's happening anymore. I Love Lucy Live was a theater show that they started in Los Angeles, California. They hired actors who were very, very talented, and they did the whole thing. They basically, how can I explain it? You became part of the audience, and they transported you, quote unquote, back into 1951. They did everything as they would originally. The actor who plays Desi comes out dressed as how Desi used to come out, and he says, "Welcome to the show here in 1951. How are you doing? I want to introduce you to the cast and all of this." And he introduces, he's like, "This is Lucy Ball playing Lucy." And you have an announcer. You have the commercials happen in front of you. They filmed 2 episodes, and this whole thing is a play. But it is faithfully accurate to how Desi Lou would do it. You even have guys acting as cameramen pretending to film it. It's so authentic. It is so interesting. Yeah, it is an amazing thing to see. The camping trip episode, that was the first time they would go out of the apartment in terms of like outside. They weren't really outside, they were in a set, but what I mean about that is they went outside in terms of their location, which is pretty interesting. That's when they had a little bit more money and they could invest in making that type of set, so it's kind of cool. Where did they get the different things for the apartment? Did they ever do an on-location episode like a deep sea fishing? I have to go to the big sea market. Did they ever do on-location episodes? Oh, so they would shoot different scenes, obviously, and they would bring them in to the episode later on. So they never really filmed on location like that. It was all pretty much done in that studio, which is pretty interesting. Whenever they needed those exterior scenes, they were doing later on or beforehand and so forth. "Jam on your toast, darling," and she lifts her legs up. Yes. Of course, she looks glamorous right there. She looks amazing. And she thinks she's talking to Ethel, and of course, she's right there. Of course. Of course, Ethel, you are amazing. Ethel was such an instrumental part. I think the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour only did on locations. Well, yes. Of course, if you want to count that as I Love Lucy, I kind of do for the most part. Although I do see them as different. They're more like movies, to be honest with you. Because, like you said, they're so like extravagant. Oh, Alondras, how are you? I didn't notice that was you who wrote that. It was so, yeah, that's, I think, the different feel, that it doesn't feel like you're in the apartment. It doesn't feel like you have that homey look. Oh, look, the end of the set right there. Do you see it on the left? See it? Yep. Another point where you see the end of the brick wall and then the bedroom set on the other side. Kind of cool. So yeah, so for example, the bowl episode where Lucy's in Mexico, there were scenes done in Mexico, although there were some done in a studio. So yeah, that was not very I Love Lucy-esque, although it is classified as I Love Lucy, Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, lots of names. Alondras, you are a little bit late, but don't worry, you can see the rest of the episode. It'll be here on YouTube in just a little bit once this finishes, so don't miss it. They were about through as a couple. Yes, you're right, and that was kind of sad. I think they were professional to the end in terms of the episodes, what came through, the quality. Although the one note is that if you notice in the beginning of the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour to the end, you do see Ricky whenever he gets really upset, it really shines through. It is a little bit difficult to watch, a little bit heartbreaking, but it is a reality. This scene is my favorite in this episode, the Be a Pal. Lucy, look at her cards. That's so funny. She's just playing like she's a card shark, and she was just taught by Ethel how to play a few hours ago. Really, really cool. I saw Laverne and Shirley filmed. Oh, really cool. Crack me up now. That's awesome. And Penny Marshall had to redo a scene over and over because of someone else. They yelled cut, and she threw the broom down and said, well, my goodness, that's a good piece of information. Well, let me tell you. See, that's how a lot of this was done now. And so, see, you had to endure that. You had to watch that, and maybe it was a funny scene, and they wanted to inspire you to laugh every time, so they get it right for the film. That was not what would happen on I Love Lucy. They wanted the scene for the audience to be fresh. They wanted you not to know what was going to happen in the episode, surprise you, and wanted those laughs to be genuine, which I think was great. I do love that there's no laugh track, but I do love the laughing in the background. I think it adds to something. I know people hate laugh tracks, so I definitely can understand that. What was the episode when she got all the excuse me, when she got all dolled up like she was Tallulah? Can you give me a little bit more information, because there's a few where she got all dolled up. There's one where she got dolled up like Marilyn, and so I'm not exactly sure, Bruce, the one you're speaking of. If you know anything else that happens in the episode, that'd be great to know, and I could probably clue you into that fundraiser. Is it the fundraiser where they were trying to go to Europe? I'm trying to think why she was dressed up for that. Was she dressed up for that? I don't know. So Dave is saying, yeah, I saw the Facts of Life filmed, and they had a lot of cuts. Okay, so you see those cuts? That was not on I Love Lucy. That did not happen. They only would cut and move on to the side in that moment. And if there was ever a scene where Lucy was writing something, or they would film something like that, they would do that immediately. They would cut again, they would go back, and it would take literally 30 seconds. That would be a cut. But other than that, they didn't really do that. So yes, good question. It does take a long time to do that stuff. It was for the school on the Comedy Hour. So, but I don't think Lucy dressed like Tallulah in that episode, did she? Because I think that's what the question was. I'm confused. I'm a little confused right now. They did do a fundraiser. Tallulah helped out. Lucy, they dressed up like knights. They did like a Queen episode and like medieval times type thing. She was in the living room and had a Margot Channing wig on. Margot Channing wig on. I think that might have been that Marilyn episode where she dressed kind of like Marilyn. But then there was also one where it was Charm School, and she dressed up super nice because she wanted to woo the boys. What TV show used the laugh track from Lucy? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of shows did. Probably a Desi Lou show, that's for sure. But I'm not sure. Yeah, so Tallulah, I do know that Tallulah was in that episode. It's, I could tell you exactly what it was called right now. Let me go take a look. I think the episode was called The Celebrity Next Door. Yeah. So yes, that's when Tallulah moved in next door to the Ricardos in the country. And that's where that was happening. Lucy fakes illness. That's a good one too. I like that. She's like a little girl. She's like, I don't know, Ricky. She acts like a little girl. It's so weird. Oh, darling, how are you, darling? Yeah, that's a good one. I have to go into my brain and figure that one out. Pop it out. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at that one. That's where I'm at a loss right now. Sorry, I can't give you that info. I don't know. Okay, that could be. So Alondras is telling us that was from the Comedy Hour. I'll go with him on that. I'm gonna go with that. I do know the Tallulah episode was a pretty cool one where the Mertzes played the maids, or the butler and the maid, and that was really, really cool. She called herself the Alabama Foghorn, yes, because of her voice. She was from the South, and so she definitely had that Southern twang to her. Tallulah was a crazy woman in real life. You should read her stories. I don't even want to say them on here. Her and Chico Marx, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's where she was like Tallulah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because they had a feud, right? They had a feud where they got upset with each other, and like it was kind of a ruckus on set, which is kind of cool. But they had trouble with Tallulah. She was like a diva, and she did not want. They said they didn't want to work with her ever again. She didn't want to rehearse. She didn't show up on time. She was a mess. They regretted that. Ricky, I'm surprised that she actually, for that episode, I'm surprised that Tallulah was able to stand that, getting her face all smothered with paint. I mean, I'm surprised she even agreed to do that. Ricky sends a farewell dirge to Lucy because yes, they put the green light bulb in there. She's like, you got the gold bloots, remember that? The disease that they faked that she had? That was awesome. Lucy got dressed up like Tallulah to make Ricky mad. Yeah, it's not coming to mind. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that's an episode. The thing is, I can't think of which one that is. It's not coming to my brain. 180 episodes, 170 something, I believe. So, so many episodes. I wish I can think of it. Maybe it'll come to my mind later. So let's see. So Starswake says, I don't think Fred was acting angry, being angry at Lucy playing cards. He looks like he was a serious poker player. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, of course, these are all seasoned actors, and they're all trying to do their best to play the best part. But his coughing thing was just hilarious. I loved it. I think he is a gem on the show, and they all add their thing that just makes the show the spicy, awesome thing that it is. So that's very, very cool. Now, of course, Lucy is completely failing in what she is doing and her different strategies to get Ricky to like her. So, of course, she's going to think that, hey, maybe he's missing Cuba. That's why this stuff is happening. And so, of course, she dresses up like Carmen Miranda, does a whole Mama, yo te quiero, and does that and sings the song, Mama te quiero. Is that what it is? Yeah, I believe so. And so it's a good episode. They actually got Carmen Miranda's permission to be able to play that song on there, which I think was pretty cool. Yes, Desi's laugh offset was so loud. They actually had to work on that later because they noticed that his laugh was so loud that they had to make sure that he stayed quiet or did something to muffle him, because he thought this was hilarious as well, which is great. Again, it's not just us that think that this is funny. These guys agreed that this was funny stuff that was going on. So yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting thing to note just how well they got along. Apparently, Ricky had 5 brothers, according to this, and a mom. But of course, this is Ricky who had the brothers, not Desi. I don't know about Desi's life. How much do you know about Keith Thibodeau? How come he was never mentioned in the opening credits? He was a regular cast member. Good question. He was mentioned on the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. The only time Keith made an appearance was on season 6. He was in the season 6 and on. The little boys that were used beforehand were not Keith. They were, I need to think of their names, but they were actually twin boys. And their actual mother makes an appearance in the Homecoming episode, season 5. All this information. Hopefully it's not too much for you guys. When they come home, Lucy hands off the baby to this woman, rather large lady. That's actually the real actual mother to the boys who played Little Ricky. The babies. Or he's like, I don't know, year old, something like that. So yeah, I know Keith is still alive. He regularly gives interviews about I Love Lucy. He was an actual drummer. He was in a band. And I think now he's not an actor. He does mostly music and kind of retired. I think he's in his late 60s, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's amazing to see him and see how much he has in common with the little boy. Kind of like Ron Howard and Opie from Andy Griffith. It's kind of interesting to see that. Hey, what's up, Mert? Thank you for joining. We're almost going to be finishing on this live stream, but don't worry. You can see the what we did and what we talked about earlier. I've been on here for about an hour and a half. I want to go eat. I'm a little hungry. It is raining outside like crazy, so I definitely want to do a few things, but I do enjoy these live streams so much, guys and gals. I could sit here forever if it weren't for me going and eating, but I do enjoy this. Hello, Will. What is up, buddy? Are you just coming on right now? Oh no, we're almost finishing. The episode's almost finishing if you see the Be a Pal episode. But remember, you can always look at this again. I always tell people that this will be online for you guys to watch at any time. In ending by voice. So Bruce, he wasn't mentioned in season 6. Up until season 6 was his original half an hour I Love Lucy episodes. Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, yes, he was mentioned, and Little Ricky. He's mentioned as Little Ricky. He's not mentioned as Keith Thibodeau. I don't know why. I don't know the reasoning. I don't know why Desi and Lucy wanted that way. Maybe they wanted to lend to the fact that he was Little Ricky, but he wasn't. I don't know. I can't tell you that, as I don't know. Don't feel bad, Will. It happens, buddy. Don't worry. Just watch them when they're on here. Watch them when they're on here, and hopefully you get a very similar experience. I think Sundays, just to let you guys and gals know, will be the days when I do these chats. I don't want to hold firm to that because I never like to, because my schedule is never concrete either way. But I do, and I am going to give you notice, a few days notice. This time I gave you a good, I think, week notice. And then a few days ago I did post something. So, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, maybe his folks wanted him like that. Yeah, so many reasons. I don't know. But, yeah, he is credited, and Little Ricky. That's how they credit him. I should do a live stream of the European episodes, Kenneth. Good looking out. Look at all the little boys that are pretending to be his brothers. I definitely do want to go through the line. In episodes. I don't know if I want to go chronologically. I don't know if I want to do it sporadically. Last live stream, I did a few Hollywood episodes. Now I'm just starting from the beginning. I just want to show you that pilot and just the first couple ones. So I don't know. I'm very up in the air about it. I'm willing to take opinions just like that. You want to see some of the European episodes. I definitely want to have some order in it though, or at least write them down so that when you do come to the live chats, you see different ones. I'm just honestly seeing if you guys like this format, if you like the episodes up here, if you guys like that while I'm talking. I'm not going to promise I'm going to be able to do it every time, but hey, we'll just go live chat by live chat. We'll just definitely go little by little. Lucy meets the Queen, although we never see the Queen, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have wished to have seen her from behind. Well, I think that's it for us, guys and gals. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all being on the live stream. It's time for me to go. That was not the pilot, Will. That was actually the Be a Pal episode. The pilot was at the beginning of the live chat. Again, if you want to take a look at the whole thing, go ahead and take a look at the video. It'll be fully uploaded just as I finish. So I do appreciate that. The Grapes was a great episode. We'll have to take a look and think about that. You guys seem to like a lot of these episodes. No, thank you guys for joining. Of course, it's my pleasure to be on here and do this. I hope you guys are all subscribed because I do put I Love Lucy videos out every once in a while. You do know that. I also put Three Stooges episodes. There will be more TV shows in the future, so hopefully all of you are TV show, movie fans, and so forth. I definitely want to grow this channel, so I wish you on this journey so that you can join me where I am now and see where I grow, because I want to grow. I want to expand out. I want to be able to just talk to as many of you as possible. So I'll see you all I'll see you all next time. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget, guys and gals, always stay positive. I always try to make it a big deal in my episodes. I want to keep your motivation, positivity, and hope up. I want to just help keep that fire of hope lit, because there's so many crazy things in this world. I just want to keep this channel positive and light and cheery and just so fun for all of you. So don't forget, guys and gals, as I always end every episode, be hopeful,